Three-point sniper, basketball IQ, tenacious player, man.
And when he got hot, it didn't matter if he was on him or not.
He just turned around and launched it. And Toba say, off, that's off. He say, awful good.
And I said, oh, it's true about this boy.
Why do you think people hate on Larry Bird?
He's white.
Yeah, a little bit of nigga.
He was different now. Larry was different now.
See, like when I played, Larry Bird was the biggest shit talker.
Yes.
But he was. I always say he was shit talking, but he was backing it up. So really, he wasn't shit talking. He was just telling you what he was going to do.
He was a quiet shit talker.
Yeah.
He would like go by you and say, I'm going to hit this now.
Yeah.
We were playing and Tom Tolbert was playing Larry and guarding him pretty well. Larry picked up the ball and he couldn't find no one. And Tolbert was all over him. You know, he couldn't find it. He just turned around and launched it. And Tolbert say, off, that's off. He say, awful good. I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, man, he was a tough cookie. My grandmother, that was her favorite player.
Larry Bird.
Yeah, Larry Bird. And I can remember the first time I scored 20, I called my grandmother and I'm like, hey, I had a good game last night. I had a good game. She said, did you ring that goal like Larry Bird? I didn't ring it like him, but I mean, like, because Larry Bird, if you remember, his shot used to go off the TV screen.
Yeah.
He used to shoot so high.
Yeah,
he had a high arc. He would go off the TV screen. It just drops.
When you hear the name Larry Bird, you instantly think of a basketball genius. The Celtics superstar who dominated the NBA with clutch performances, ironclad confidence, and a competitive fire that refused to cool. But what truly separates Bird from every other legend is not just his stats or trophies. It's the personality behind the man, the stories that reveal who he was off the stat sheet.
Larry Bird played in this era, I think he'd be in Europe.
Yeah, he said that same stupid shit back in the mid-'80s when he said that if he was a black player, he'd be just another good guy. Get the fuck out of here. Larry Bird was the truth, man. Again, most people said wasn't athletic, couldn't jump, said he couldn't even jump over a phone book was the joke.
Today's video isn't a highlight reel. It's not another compilation of fadeaway jumpers or buzzer beaters. Instead, NBA legends, people who shared the court with Bird, open up with stories you've never heard before. These are wild, personal, hilarious, and sometimes unbelievable moments that explain why Bird isn't just a Hall of Famer. He's Larry Legend.
He couldn't jump over a phone booth.
Larry was the truth, man. Three-point sniper, basketball IQ off the charts, tenacious player, man. Would tell players what he was going to do.
Oh yeah, trash talking was on a different level.
Trash talking like a motherfucker. 3 championships, several MVPs, Hall of Fame, Olympic medalist. Stop it.
Why do you think people hate on Larry Bird?
He's white.
He's white.
I think most true fans of basketball, especially blacks included, they know the deal. They know, but nobody's really, the people that are hating on Larry Bird are simply haters. Because there's no way, if you know anything about that man's criteria, his record, his skill, hating on him is like hating on Eminem. Like, get the fuck out of here. If Magic and Bird saved the NBA, Michael took it to the next stratosphere.
Yep.
And no one has done that since.
From the moment Bird stepped into the league, his presence was different. Off the court, he was serious. On the court, he was unshakable. But ask anyone who played with or against him, what they remember most aren't just the points he scored. It's the way he talked, the confidence he carried, and how he made everyone around him look better yet still fear him.
For example, if you put a one-on-one game, if you want to go racial with it, if you want to go Jokic versus Larry Bird in their prime.
So that would be Larry Bird.
Yeah. He's just a more skilled, do you think, player on the court, one-on-one?
He was built more of a one. Larry Bird would probably beat LeBron one-on-one.
Really? Ooh.
Because one-on-one, it takes away from everything LeBron has, right? His physical strength, his speed, all that power he has going. Well, in one-on-one, you're talking about 1-2 dribbles. That's not his
corners. And
that's not his game. Yeah. That's Larry's whole game. LeBron needs to back up, and then I'm going to use all my physical attributes to come at you.
In fact, Bird's reputation as a trash talker is legendary. He didn't need social media or sound bites to get into opponents' heads. A glance from him was enough. Teammates recall moments where Bird would predict plays out loud, taunting opponents not just physically but mentally. The other team wasn't just defending the ball, They were defending their pride.
When I first met him, I said, all right, I'm going to see this dude, this white cat can really go like he's saying,
Because the verdict is always out on white boys that can hoop, with all due respect. It's always out.
It's respect. This ain't nothing bad. So I said, let me see what he can do.
But Larry had something that most white boys don't have. Just say that. Just keep it real.
Man,
Larry was different now. Larry was different now.
He had a little bit of nigger.
Yeah, he was different now. He was different now. Larry was different now.
That boy... He could play, man. He turned it out. We played on a team in college in a tournament together. This is the first time I ever sat on the bench. Him and I were on the bench.
Another iconic aspect of Bird's legacy is his rivalry with Magic Johnson. These two weren't just competitors. They were contrasting personalities whose battles defined the NBA in the 1980s. From NCAA championship games to multiple NBA Finals matchups, their ever-present competition elevated both their games and elevated the league itself. This rivalry became so legendary that it's now the subject of documentaries, books, and endless debates among fans.
And we were like, the guys in front of us wasn't better than us, but Kentucky head coach was coaching the team, so he started 3 guys from Kentucky. So we said, okay. But when we got in the game, we turned it out. But I saw this dude eat Jack Givens up. He was player of the year that year.
Kentucky, right?
Yes, from Kentucky. And Larry Bird was just slicing and dicing him. And I said, oh, I called home. I said, it's true about this boy. I was calling everybody, this dude can play.
Yeah.
And so that was my first time seeing him, and then to be out on the court with him in college for that national championship game, and then, of course, what happened in the NBA. But I would say that what a blessing it was. He ended up in Boston, and then I ended up out here. My personality was L.A., Hollywood. His personality was Boston, and it worked for the whole league, you know, so everything was good.
But even beyond rivalries, what makes Bird unforgettable are the personal stories. Like the time he faced younger Dream Team hopefuls and used his trash talk and skill to dominate entire scrimmages. Or when he reportedly picked up a ball before a future NBA star and intentionally kicked it away, just to send a message about who ruled the court.
You know, people ask me all the time, who's the hardest player? And I always say him. I played against Michael Jordan, George Gervin, Andrew Toney. And those guys, when they pass the ball, they have a tendency to take a break for a second. Larry never was going to take a break. Larry's going to go get an offensive rebound. He's going to go set a back pick. He's going to do something to impact that possession. So that's why he was the hardest.
He's about, what, 6'8", 6'9"?
6'9".
6'9".
Bird's humor also comes up again and again. Legends tell tales of Bird's off-court laughs, jokes, and antics that showed he wasn't just a cold-blooded competitor. He was a person who loved the game and loved to enjoy every moment. These are the kinds of stories that don't show up in stat sheets, but define a legend.
A lot of people compare us, and a lot of people put one above the other.
He was your main inspiration, is that not right?
Yeah, he did. Larry used to be a very talented basketball player. He still is, and whenever I was about his height, he used to wear me out in the backyard. And I guess from that determination just to beat him, I guess that made me work hard. And you know, he's just an outstanding basketball player at his height.
I get so many questions about Larry Bird. The thing is was he really that good? I said, yeah, he was really that good. White, black, green, and yellow. He was really that good. When you see a player like Luka and you see a player like Dirk, they're great players, but they're not Larry Bird by no means. And you have to have a great appreciation to play against a guy who athletically every single night, he was at a disadvantage, but yet mentally and the way that his work ethic was, he was way above the game. He was way above everybody else.
Today's video is more than nostalgia. It's a deep dive into the culture of basketball, into the minds of players who competed at the highest level, and into what made Larry Bird not just great, but unforgettable. So buckle up, because this first story, the one you're about to hear, sets the tone for an unforgettable ride through the life and legend of one of the NBA's greatest ever.
Larry didn't have the speed, couldn't jump, but he could shoot, and he could work. He was big, strong, Buford Pusser type. He had a lot of skills. He could pass. He was ambidextrous. You had to be like on him. You couldn't give him any space. And when he got high, it didn't matter if he was on him or not.
Larry Bird was already from French Lick. He was born, and you know, I love the story he told. You know, I used to go over to where the black players play. Yeah. And all the guys, and Larry said, you know what? I wasn't afraid of them, but I just wanted to play with them because I knew that was the best, and I always wanted to compete against the best. So when you look at that, from his grounding and the foundation that he laid for himself and being the player he became, going to Indiana State and losing the Magic, a black player. I think that kind of put that desire in him to even want to become better. But all that is made early on when he's going out competing against black players in the hood. You know, he's going over to the other side of town to play basketball because he wanted to play with the best. And I'm not saying there were any white players that weren't the best, but that was his thinking at that time. Larry Bird was one of the best because you know what? Every game, every year, he was going to do something to try to win it.